It's like it's not even real. It's like is this real? And it is.
I mean, it's a goose. It's a felony.
What's up, Road Dog? Welcome, my friends. What's up, Road Dog? Welcome, my friends.
Hey, what is going on? Oh. I do. I got the chat on the YouTube.
There we go.
We really like the song, so we don't mind hearing it twice.
Nope, not at all.
Welcome aboard, everybody. Episode 9, Cash and Capital. Trump's confirmed staff picks, the dream team. Let's check out one of his staff picks here. In Congress. Here we go.
Please respect the chair's authority.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair,
Mr. Holman,
you work for me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
The witness will suspend.
Oh, she's so mad. She was so mad.
I gotta see it again. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's great. Play it.
I respect the chair's authority, but the chair,
Mr. Holman,
you work for me. I'm a taxpayer.
She gonna break that gravel.
I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
What a savage.
Oh, man. She mad. She mad as shit. Oh, that's great. Tom Homan, for those of you who don't know, is who Trump is nominating for border czar. And as you can tell, this guy pretty much does not fuck around at all. Here's another clip of him.
Yeah, he's gonna ruffle some feathers.
Hey, look, they gave me 5 minutes to say a few things, so if I offend anybody tonight, I don't give a shit. How many pounds of fentanyl didn't make in this country to kill Americans? How many known suspected terrorists didn't make it in the country? How many billions of dollars did the cartels make? President Trump is one badass president. He secured the border at the level we've never seen before. And I got a message to the millions of illegal aliens that's been released into the United States under this administration. Don't get too comfortable. We're going to need some help. Do I have any volunteers that want to come back and help run the biggest deportation operation in the history of this nation? In January of 25, the greatest president of my lifetime walking back in the White House. He tells me we got, I say 120 days. He says, no, you got 60 to lock the border down. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what I told the president. He comes back, I come back, we fix this shit.
Oh, some strong words from Mr. Tom Homan here.
Ooh. I love it. I absolutely love this pick because, and this is honestly, you're gonna get the little fucking soy boys are gonna be all fucking. Oh, he's so brash. Oh, he's so abrasive. But yeah, we're done fucking playing around. Is really what it comes down to. We have to be done playing around. This guy is obviously not playing around. He's very serious about getting the job done, and he don't care whose feelings he hurts in the process. And that's great because we need to stop making decisions based on people's feelings. That's how we get into this fucking mess in the first place. I mean, boss, do you agree with that?
Too many snowflakes out there. We need more guys like Tom Homan to be able to put an end to the whole DEI snowflake debacle without question and help to make America great again, period.
Yeah, this guy is, you couldn't have picked a better guy, honestly. Here's some more. I don't know if we'll play the whole clip of this, but
I've served my
I
country.
find your
I've served
comments
my country. I've
disgusting
served
as
my
well,
country
sir.
for 34 years.
I find your
This
comments
is out of
disgusting
control.
as well.
I've served my country for 34 years, and yes, I held a 5-year-old boy in my arms. That in back of that tractor trailer, I knelt down beside him and said a prayer for him because I knew what his last 30 minutes of his life were like, and I had a 5-year-old son at the time. What I've been trying to do my 34 years serving my nation is to save lives. So for you to sit there and insult my integrity and my love for my country and for children, that's why this whole thing needs to be fixed. And you're the member
We
of Congress.
agree on that.
Fix it.
We agree on that,
have
but I
failed it. You have-
disagree. But I also disagree with your characterization of immigrants as
Gentlemen,
He's
I've
getting
been
bent.
American people for 3 decades on this.
Gentlemen, Simon.
You know how red he
wanna know why there's
got. He
50,000
turned
people in the
bright
country?
red.
You want to know why we have
Yeah.
1 million illegal entries in the United States? You want to know why we have these issues? Because you have failed to secure the border. You have failed to work with this president to close the 3 loopholes we've asked for 2 years to close.
Time of
So
the
if you want to know why
gentleman
this
has
issue
expired.
exists, you need to look in the mirror.
Time
You
of the
have
gentleman
failed
has
American
expired.
people for
Mr.
not
Holman.
securing the border and closing loopholes.
Mr. Holman,
Look,
please respect the
Oh, this
chair
again.
and the authority of the chair. The
You have-
time of the gentleman has expired.
I've asked you politely to let me go
Gentleman
beyond my time, and you let
gentlewoman
other people
from
go beyond their time, but not to Tom Homan. He don't get me
We
go beyond his
have-
time.
Mr. Holman, we have
This is a
approved
circus.
an agreement
This is a circus.
between the Republicans and the Democrats with the ranking member. We increased the time of
Oh,
one
it's great.
witness, one member of Congress who was interrupted by a protest. That is
Oh,
done with the
They were interrupted
approval
by a
of the ranking
protest.
member. Please respect
Marcel,
the chair's
oh.
authority. The
I respect the
gentlewoman-
chair's
the
authority,
gen-
but the chair.
Mr. Holman,
You work for
Excuse
me. I'm a taxpayer. I'm a taxpayer. You work for me.
So the recommendation
God, yeah.
of the many that you recommended
Fucking
family
airhead.
separation,
I recommend a zero tolerance.
which includes family separation.
The same as is with every U.S. citizen parent gets arrested when they're with a child.
Zero tolerance.
Just real quick, just to preface this, pay attention to how AOC keeps trying to like set him up, you know, to be like, oh, you're a family splitter upper, or what a terrible guy, and just watch him fucking tear her right to shreds. It's just he tears her argument to shreds, and she just, oh my god, like families are totally separated. Oh.
Was interpreted as the policy that separated children from their
If I get arrested for DUI and I have a young child in the car, I'm going to be separated. When I was a police officer in New York and I arrested a father for domestic violence, I separated that father
Mr.
from
Holman,
his
with
family.
all due respect, legal asylees are not charged with any crime.
Oh, and here's what, see, this is a game that they play. They change it from illegal aliens to legal asylees. What the fuck is legal asylees? First off, if they're asylum seekers, do it the right way. You're not crossing the border in the middle of the night.
Correct.
So
That
she's
a border, someone
literally
illegally
saying
crossing
something.
the border is not a legal asylee. They have to go and wait
Right.
at port of entry to be admitted as a legal asylum seeker. They don't just get to
Yeah.
cross the border.
He. By the way, spoiler alert: he's not going to let her get away with that shit.
When you're into the country illegally, it's violation 8 United States Code 1325.
Seeking asylum is legal.
If you want to seek asylum and go through the port of entry, do it the legal way. The Attorney General of the United States has made that clear.
Okay.
We have seen one estimate that says it would cost $88 billion to deport 1 million people a year.
I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Is that what American taxpayers should expect?
What price do you put on national security? Is that worth it?
Is there a way to carry out mass deportation without separating families?
Of course there is. Families can be deported together.
You better start packing now.
They didn't like that answer at all.
No.
You're damn right. Because you're going home. I got another message. Another message to the criminal cartels in Mexico. You smuggled enough fentanyl across this country to kill 148,000 young Americans. You have killed more Americans than every terrorist organization in the world combined. And that's when President Trump gets back in office. He's going to designate you a terrorist organization, and he's going to wipe you off the face of the earth. You're done. You're done. Why would you release 5 or 6 female
children to one male sponsor? Why would you do that? So God help these children. God help these children. I love kids. And this administration, I don't want to hear another word about you being humane. You're putting children at risk. Record number of Americans are dying. Record numbers of migrants are dying. There's one guy who can fix this shit, and it's Donald Trump. Look, I knew President Trump was going to run before you did because I had dinner with him in Las Vegas about 6 months before he announced. And we're having dinner and looked at me and says, Dom, I think I'm coming back. If I come back, can I get you to come back? I says, I tell you what, sir, I'm so pissed off, I'll come back for free.
And that's why they chose Tom
I
Homan
fucking
to make America
that
great
guy.
again and secure our borders. And if families don't want to be separated, families can be deported together.
If you didn't want to be separated, don't break the law. I mean, that's the point he made to Ditz in the fucking house.
Right.
Like,
Exactly right.
oh my God.
Exactly right.
They're legal asylees. Look, if you get arrested for DUI or assault or something, you're going to be separated from your kids. This is no different. Oh, well, no, it's perfectly legal to be a legal asylee. Of course it's legal to be it, but they got to do it the right way. Just coming across the border like that, just helping yourself to our country is against the law. You broke the law. So this whole argument that they always throw out that, oh, well, they're not criminals. They are. The second they cross that border not doing it the right way, that they're a criminal.
That's true. It's
They
a
may
federal
not be
crime.
like
It's
a
a federal
murderer
crime to
or a
do
rapist.
so.
They might not be, a violent criminal or whatever, but they are a criminal. They broke the law entering this country the wrong way, period. That's all there is to it. Here's the list of so far. I'm going to go through it real quick, and then we'll pick some names out and talk about them. Vice President, obviously, JD. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. A lot of people on the fence on that one. I kind of am too. But here, before we pass too much judgment, I remember when JD Vance was announced and how a lot of people felt about him, myself included. And I have changed completely about how I feel about JD Vance. So let's give any of these picks the benefit of the doubt and see what they do and judge them based on their actions moving forward. So Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Attorney General Matt Gaetz. Oh boy. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem, it's North Dakota governor, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, DNI Tulsi Gabbard, wow. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, CIA Director John Radcliffe. He was the guy who came out against the Russia collusion hoax and everything, John Radcliffe. White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles. That's the first one that he announced. She's the one who ran his campaign, and she's going to be great for that. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin from New York. Ambassador to the United Nations Elise Stefanik. White House Counsel Bill McGinley. Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller. He worked with Trump in the first term. Border Czar, which we have been intimately introduced to already in this episode, Tom Homan. Ambassador to Israel, Mike Huckabee. Government Efficiency Advisors, the old Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. And Middle East Envoy Steve Witkoff.
There we go.
Dan Scavino, James Blair, and Taylor Buttigieg will also take senior staff roles in the White House just to start. Dan Scavino is his, if you don't know, Dan Scavino is like his media guy. Like he does all his like posts, videos, and stuff like that. He's in charge of that part of it, and I'm sure a lot more. But that's kind of like on the surface what Dan Scavino is. But this is a great list. I'm not going to hold judgment on any of these picks until we see what they can do. But I'm actually pretty happy with the majority of these picks. So let's talk about some of them.
Yeah, let's get started.
You have
with
one
some
that
clips.
you would like to?
I agree with you. A lot of people were still skeptical about JD Vance until they saw what an absolute unit he was against the mainstream media and MSDNC and shutting down CNN. Every time they try to tell a lie, every time they try to interrupt him and try to trip him up, the guy was just nonstop spitting fireballs, knocking down all their stupid attacks, and made them look pitiful. So it was very clear there that J.D. Vance is not just a tough guy. He's not just a former Marine. The guy is actually extremely well talented and versed in macroeconomics and geopolitical ideas and real concepts, much more so than he actually received credit for. And that's really shined through because these news anchors ain't got shit on J.D. Vance. And we saw Tom Homan is also already stomping all over, has been for quite a while, stomping all over, the Senate and the House. And, anytime that he's had to do that, because it's imperative that they protect this country. And any amount of word salad from AOC or other, Pocahontas type figures is not sufficient to enabling the open borders of people just spilling in, whether they be criminals or just regular everyday people. Because at the end of the day, when they cross that border illegally, they're criminals. That's a federal crime. So yeah, we do need more of that. And keep in mind that's coming from the son of immigrant parents who was well attuned with the idea of crossing the border. So there's a reason that Trump won the majority of the Hispanic vote of Hispanic males, at least in the United States, and almost won the majority of Hispanic females in the United States as well. And by a wide margin, he also won the Puerto Rican vote and the Cuban vote. That tells you a lot, that the whole fallacy that was told about Donald Trump supporters being racists and Nazis has been nothing but a lie from the very beginning. None of his supporters are that way. They're people that just care about our families and the people here in this country that have paid into the system for their entire lives. What do you got here, my friend? Matt Gaetz is the new Attorney General.
I was absolutely super curious when Trump said this. Like, he was talking about Gates. Let me just play this clip.
Because we can take the Senate pretty easily. And I think with our little secret, we're going to do really well with the House, right? Our little secret is having a big impact. He and I have a secret. We'll tell you what it is when the race is over. Because we can take.
What was this the little secret? Because I'm going to tell you, Matt Gaetz. Here's a quick clip of Matt Gaetz, the new Attorney General.
Is it safe to say that based off of your comments, you're suggesting that these women at these abortion rallies are ugly and overweight?
Yes.
What do you say to people who think that those comments are offensive?
You offended.
Is this...
That was great. The guy is based. I'll give him that.
He doesn't. We have to stop catering to the I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings bullshit, because that and the whole identity politics, all that shit is burning to the ground right now. I'm telling you, that's why there was the mandate. That's why the votes went the way they did. That's why we took the Senate and the House, even though they're still waiting forever to make it 218 in the House, which is it's fucking blowing my mind. But that's why there's that mandate, is because people are sick of it. They're sick of walking around on eggshells. They're sick of being on pins and needles all the time. Oh, well, I can't say this because then the marginal people of color, Indian, Swahili midgets from Pakistan will be offended. Who cares? Like, you got to stop being that way. That doesn't mean be an asshole. I mean, well, or be an asshole. I guess it doesn't matter. Like, be whoever you want to be. I don't give a fuck. But we can't change like our whole entire policy about, oh, this might hurt somebody's feelings. Who gives a fuck about that? I would rather have people with feelings hurt and then be able to go and buy a dozen eggs at a reasonable price, or bacon at a reasonable price, or a gallon of gas at a reasonable price. because I work hard and put myself in the right position, I am able to, not be suffering through this massive inflation and everything. But I know a lot of people who are, and I do my best to help them, where I can. But holy shit, like, I mean, people are making decisions like, am I going to have power or am I going to eat this week? That's a bullshit decision to have to make. That's a bullshit. People shouldn't have to make that decision, especially if they're working. See, that's the thing. That if you're working and you're bringing in income and you're doing your part and you're trying to support your family, you shouldn't be in a position to where, oh well, I don't know if we can have heat this year, so we'll just have to, hopefully we'll have a couple extra blankets. Like, I've lived that life. I don't know if but my history or whatever. But I mean, I spent 2 years eating ramen. I know what it's like to be poor. I know what it's like to not have. I know what it's like to, the power gets shut off because it wasn't paid. I know what that's like. It sucks. And people shouldn't have to do that. And there's no reason they should. There's no reason they should. As long as they're willing to work and put the effort in. If you put the effort in and work, you should be able to have a decent, livable situation at home. You should be able to have food and lights and heat and whatever, there's no reason that shouldn't happen. And the reason it's not happening right now is because of inflation. It's because of the economy and the way and the gas and everything else that these last 4 years have absolutely destroyed for the middle class and everybody else. I mean, the all those one percenters and celebrities and rich people coming out saying, oh, the economy is the best it's ever been. Yeah, because you don't feel that shit. You don't feel none of it. I'm sorry. I'm going on a rant.
He's right,
you don't
though.
feel none of that shit. You like literally you don't feel any of that at all. It doesn't phase you one bit. You're not worried about where your next fucking meal is coming from. So you should shut your face about how the economy doesn't hurt right now and it's really fucking good. That's what I think. Okay.
What he said.
I feel better. Thanks for the vote of support.
What he
Appreciate
said.
So let's see. Let's look through what we got here.
Good evening, Flavius.
Mike
Road Dog,
Waltz.
ladies and gentlemen. What's up, Mars? Good to see you
Flavius
guys.
and Road Dog. Road Dog says Tom Homan about to do work. He ain't wrong. He is about to do work. I like it. Here's Mike Waltz, former Green Beret NSA advisor, and let's see where National Security Advisor. So the NSA. Let's see. Oh boy, this is.
Oh boy. Yeah, there we go.
Let's go to the bio. Congressman Mike Waltz represents Florida's 6th congressional district. He's the first Green Beret to be elected to Congress and a former White House and Pentagon policy advisor. He served 27 years in the U.S. Army and National Guard. As an Army lieutenant, he graduated Ranger School. Now, that's not easy. Not everybody graduates Ranger School. That's serious shit. Then was selected for the elite Green Berets, serving worldwide as a special forces officer with multiple combat tours in Afghanistan, the Middle East, and Africa. For his actions in combat, Mike was decorated with 4 Bronze Stars, 2 of them with Valor. Wow. He's married to Dr. Julia Nashuiwat, a combat veteran who served as Homeland Security Advisor to President Trump. They live in St. Augustine, Florida. I'm just going to say that I don't think this guy's going to be worrying about DEI training for people, is he? You think he's going to be like, oh well, people need to learn that they're white and they're the oppressors, and that they should feel guilt for being white because they're white. Those white people and their guilt because of the white privilege that they have. That's just horseshit. It's racism. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's just racism, and it needs to get the fuck out of everything. That whole DEI, CRT, all that crazy shit that they're putting in there. Our military is also going to need. There's going to need to be a cleansing of some of these generals and things like that. And speaking of that, who is going to be the Secretary of Defense?
It's cool to be conservative again, man, and it's been a long time coming. Because everything that's going on here, the DEI has gone way too far for far too long. And what first started off as equal rights ended up being in the other direction. You know, you can't be proud to be straight Christian or of one color.
Well, okay, let me explain the difference for people who may not know how this evolved.
Hold on.
In that
let's try to stay on the subject. Let's go to Pete Hegseth if we can.
Well, all right. I tend to go off.
You got me going on the Secretary of Defense here. I want this guy. I want to see this guy clean shit up here in the military. Let's talk about him.
There's a chance to course correct it, but it would take a new Trump administration going after it.
Now, Pete Hegseth is a regular contributor and reporter on Fox News, by the way.
Really hard.
But that is not all that he is. Like, he served in the military, like, and like he's got an extensive, like, he's got a couple Bronze Stars
Yes,
too.
he
Like,
does.
he's got a very nice
seen the
record
action.
with the military. Just because he's a reporter or whatever on Fox News doesn't mean that that's all that he's ever done. So people need to understand that.
How would they correct it? Well, first of all, you got to fire. You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit, it's got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it. That's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, I don't know, 1995, let's just make those the standards. And as far as recruiting, to hire the guy that, did Top Gun Maverick and create some real ads that motivate people to want to serve.
Yeah.
And there's lots of other ways in which you could identify who gets promoted and what, but there's an ethos change. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to serve, because they don't trust that their senior leaders are going to have their best interest in mind in combat. I know there were mistakes made on our tours all over the place, but I, at least for the most part, had a sense that my senior leaders were committed to the completion of the mission for the right reasons. And maybe there were strategic differences and all that other stuff, and it wasn't always perfect, but that trust is broken, and you have to reestablish that trust by putting in no-nonsense warfighters in those positions who aren't going to cater to the socially correct garbage.
Imagine that, putting in fighters into the military instead of people who are concerned about which pronouns people use.
People outside these walls, some of the press that are covering this, they don't understand the attachment that conservatives and freedom lovers have to Donald Trump, to the former president. They don't get it. They think it's some sort of a misinformation, cultish thing, cult of personality. Oh, they love the bravado. That's not what it is. I'll explain why we love them in one military analogy. I was a platoon leader in Iraq. I was an infantry platoon leader in the Army. And the one situation is the most dangerous situation that you don't want to find your platoon stuck in is what's called a near ambush. So you're walking through a neighborhood and you walk into a near ambush, meaning the enemy has the high ground, they're concealed, and you're stuck in what's called the kill zone on the X, and they've got you pinned down. Rifles, grenades, everything. You're right there in the kill zone. You don't want to be there. You're dead if you're in the kill zone, for the most part, unless you act, okay? The battle drill for being in the kill zone of a near ambush is definitely not crouch down and hope you survive, because that's never going to happen. Your only option is to immediately seek cover, immediately pop your grenade, throw it, and then charge toward the enemy that you still can't see. That's your only option if you want to survive. This is all metaphorically, of course, for the media out there. Right? Caveat necessary. It's your only hope. All right? Well, Republicans for decades, for years, have sat in the kill zone and said, just kind of like us. We're okay. We're not that bad. We're okay. We're nice behind our podiums, dressed up like this, hey, everybody, we're going to cut taxes just a little bit more. It doesn't work. Donald Trump said it's time to throw the grenades and charge at the enemy. That's why.
I like him. It's another good pick.
Yeah, the more I've learned about him, his time in service in the military, the way he actually talks about helping our military members out and providing them with good training, and not everything being about fucking dresses and alphabet letters, really is appealing, I think, to a lot of people, and is exactly what we need in our military nowadays, because we go from a Secretary of Defense that's a man dressed in women's clothing to this, and it's a huge difference. At the same time, the fact that, you know, Pocahontas Elizabeth Warren has the balls to be able to say that he's unqualified simply because he was on, has been on Fox News, doesn't change the fact that he's highly decorated, has received multiple medals, seen wartime, done tours, whereas Pocahontas has done nothing but lie about her heritage to receive school grants.
He is infinitely more qualified than she would ever be for this position. Period. But again, they're going to attack just because
it's their only
that's
option.
the only thing they can do.
It's the only option the left has at this point. Who do we have next on the docket here for the Trump Dream Team? Of course, we have Tulsi Gabbard.
But behind the scenes, I have 472,619 tabs on another browser. It takes me a minute sometimes to find where the fuck shit
That's
is.
why I figured we'd talk about them while you pull them up. You know, Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi is going to be the director of national intelligence, and that's a big spot. That is a big spot, the DNI, and she was a Democrat until recently, and that's some people have a problem with that, but so was RFK. So were a lot of people. A lot of people were Democrat until recently.
Exactly.
And you need to remember, it's not necessarily that she left the Democrat Party. It's the Democrat Party left her and left RFK. And I mean, they're not what the Democrat Party used to be. And I think there's a clear mandate about that. But she was elected in the office of Hawaii. She worked in the U.S. Senate as a legislative aide. And you know, she's been in the Democrat Party for quite some time, and then she became an independent. And she puts the country before party and approaches every issue based on ensuring the safety, security, and freedom of the American people. I'd like to see what she can do with this. She's very intelligent. She's a very strong woman. You know, this whole Mark Cuban saying that shit that Trump don't like strong women around him. She's a really strong woman. She ran for president fucking not long ago. 4 years ago, she was in the running for president, and she was the one. I don't know if you guys recall, but she was the one during the debates that torched Kamala. She absolutely torched Kamala, and Kamala had to drop out after that. So Tulsi Gabbard, I like it. I think it's a good pick. Again, I'm going to hold judgment. I don't know for sure how everybody's going to work out. Is everybody going to be perfect? Probably not. But I would like to see what these people do with the positions that they're given before passing any judgment.
At the end of the day, she's
your thoughts
got
on Tulsi?
2 decades experience in the military and in government. She's extremely qualified for the position as well. The CIA, the head of the CIA reports directly to the head of the DNI. So this is definitely something where she can use her intel, no pun intended, to actually make a difference. So her experience is going to come into play here and should definitely assist the United States in a big way. So definitely looking forward to them having more oversight over the CIA and these other three-letter agencies. What else we got?
Let's go with John Ratcliffe.
All right.
John Ratcliffe's going to be the next CIA director. And let me get this.
So
clip
this
here.
guy is going to be reporting to Tulsi Gabbard as the
That's right.
director of the CIA.
Yes. So here's a minute and a half clip.
The approximately 50,000 text messages that I've seen with your personal beliefs like F Trump, stop Trump, impeach Trump, go ahead and confirm on the record that none of that occurred on an official FBI device or on official FBI time. Go ahead and do that.
Sir, no, they did. Many of them did.
Oh, they did.
And I would say
Okay,
of the
so
50,000, sir.
So really, no, I'll give you a chance at the end. So what you really meant to say was that when you said you never crossed that bright, inviolable line, what you meant to say was, except for 50,000 times, except for hundreds of times a day where I went back and forth expressing my personal opinions about effing Trump and stopping Trump and impeaching Trump on official FBI phones on official FBI time. Other than that, you never cross that line. I'm sure there are 13,000 FBI agents out there that are beaming with pride at how clearly you've drawn that line. Agent Strucker, you're starting to understand why some folks out there don't believe a word you say, and why it's especially troubling that you, of all people, are at the center of the 3 highest profile investigations in recent times that involve President Trump, and that you were in charge of an investigation investigating, gathering evidence against Donald Trump, a subject that you hated, that you wanted to F him, to stop him, to impeach him. And do you see why that might call into question everything you've touched on all of those investigations? Chairman, I'm done with this witness and I yield back.
That was savage. I'm done with this piece of garbage. Get him out of my sight.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good pick. I like Ratcliffe. He called out, like I said, he was behind calling out a lot of the Russia collusion hoax bullshit. That was some of it right there. That was Strozik, and that guy with this smirk on his face. But he let him have it. Let's see
Ratcliffe
who else
definitely
we got
appears to
here.
be MAGA. So that's great to hear.
What's that?
He definitely appears to be MAGA. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The guy's been with Trump for a long time here. Definitely a great pick.
Let's see. Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, DHS. Now, DHS covers a lot of ground. DHS, it really covers a lot. But one of the biggest things it's going to be covering is the border. So she's gonna work with Homan, Tom Homan, who we got to know earlier. And Kristi Noem was she's the, let me do this here. Let me pull up this clip.
President-elect Donald Trump is building his administration right now and making some quick picks for who will work alongside him.
Yeah, that's right. You'll likely recognize some of the names. New this morning, we have learned South Dakota Governor Kristi Noem will be Trump's next Homeland Security Secretary. She will be tasked with overseeing an agency that covers everything from U.S. Customs and Border Protection and Immigration to FEMA and the U.S. Secret Service. Noem had once been on Trump's shortlist for vice president, though her relationship with Trump shifted after the negative rollout of her book, No Going Back, in which she wrote about her decision to kill an unruly puppy as a sign of her leadership skills. Noem said she hated the dog because it wasn't a good hunting dog and killed her neighbor's chickens.
Right now,
like, look at how the media fucking.
I remember that. People were in an uproar, but they also had no context as to how violent that dog was. People just assumed they knew everything about her and about her dog because she had to put the dog down. That's a sad thing, but it happens. The hunting dog. If it's bad with pets, if it's bad with kids, and you don't feel safe with it around.
If it's killing other animals, and you know what I mean? If it's indiscriminately killing other animals, you got to make a decision, and a lot of people don't like that. But sometimes tough decisions have to be made. So, if anything, that says that she's willing to make a tough decision if she has to, and you know it may not be a popular decision, but it does show that she has the fortitude to make a tough decision if it comes down to it. So I appreciate that. I can appreciate that. Let's talk about some of the other spots here. President-elect Trump announces White House senior staff: Dan Scavino, Assistant to the President, Deputy Chief of Staff; Stephen Miller, Homeland Security Advisor; Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, Assistant to the President; James Blair, Assistant to the President, Deputy Chief of Staff for Legislative, Political, and Public Affairs; Taylor Budowich, Deputy Chief of Staff for Communications and Personnel, Assistant to the President. Scavino has been with him a long time. Stephen Miller, he was with him in the first administration. This guy doesn't fuck around either. He looks like he doesn't fuck around. So I mean that's all good stuff there. And let's get down to the one that's probably going to get the most press, and that is this one right here. I am pleased to announce that the great Elon Musk, working in conjunction with American patriot Vivek Ramaswamy, will lead the Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. He actually called it DOGE. I love that. It's just heads are exploding. Like, some of the people are going to be so mad.
I love
But
the
it's
way they're
going to
making
dismantle the government.
Aaron, I love the way they're
Yeah.
making a fucking mockery out of this ridiculous system of ours. You know, that they're understanding that it's over bloated. There's way too much bullshit going on in government, and they're actually trying to make budgets and government and policies fun again. This is exactly what America needs.
Oh, we really need it. I mean, the bloated spending our government does. We talked some about that in our last episode. It is ridiculous. The amount of spending is absolutely ridiculous, and he's looking to cut a couple trillion out of the budget like right away. I'm
happen.
excited to see what these guys are going to do. I like Vivek. I've really grown fond of Vivek over the past, I don't know, 9 months or so. I've really come to like the guy. Now let's see what he can actually do, and I think that's gonna show. You can be good in front of a microphone, and you can say all the right things all the time, but when it comes down to it, when you have to do something, that's where you really find out what somebody's made of. And I think that we're going to see a lot about Elon and Vivek here. And I think that the people who've been on the fence, I know a lot of people who are on the fence about Elon too. They're like, oh, Elon, I don't know. I think it's actions. Look at the proof is in the actions. I mean, without Elon taking over X and literally, look, I understand the algorithm is not perfect, and you're going to get targeted sometimes, and you're going to be pissed off that your post only got 87 likes instead of 342,000. Oh, I'm so mad. It's going to happen. Nobody has ever figured out exactly how to make anything go viral. Believe me, because there'd be people who would just do it all the time. I've had a lot of things go viral, and most of the time afterwards, I'm like, how the fuck did that go viral? I don't even understand why that went viral. Why did that go so crazy? I don't even know. Nobody's going to ever figure that out. It's a very organic thing. But Elon and Vivek, Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. Here's a clip of Elon.
I mean, at the end of the day, you're being taxed. You're being taxed. All government spending is taxation. So whether it's direct taxation or all government spending, it's either becomes inflation or it's direct taxation. Your money is being wasted, and the Department of Government Efficiency is going to fix that. We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook. And America's just not just going to be great. America is going to reach heights that it has never seen before. The future is going to be amazing. I mean, at the end of the day.
And he has so much fun while he's doing it.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself
I mean,
too. That's
I
what
just-
matters, you know. It's like it's a new
It really
chapter
is.
in an entrepreneur's life, which is always awesome.
I kind of like Doge. It's more fun. We just take a look at all the federal agencies and say, do we really need whatever it is, 428 federal agencies? Like, there's so many that people have never even heard of, and that have overlapping areas of responsibility. We should, I don't know, probably we should get. I mean, there are more federal agencies than there are years since the establishment of the United States, which means that we've created more than one federal agency per year on average. That seems a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So we should have, that seems crazy. I think we should be able to get away with 99 agencies. I don't know. That seems a lot like a lot of agencies.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
2 per state. That's a lot.
Yeah, exactly. We should have fewer agencies, and they certainly shouldn't have overlapping responsibilities. And then we need some kind of, we just need a review of regulations to say which ones are sensible and which ones are not. Because if you've got regulators every year, they're going to add more regulations, just automatic, like they just output regulations.
And just a quick side note on that: all these agencies are, the people who work at them are unelected. We didn't vote for any of these people in any of these agencies, and they make rules every day that impact your life.
And we can't fire them. We can't elect somebody else in their place. They're being paid a salary to do a job that none of us asked them to do. And meanwhile, they rule over us and make up the regulations and the laws of our lives in every single sector you can possibly imagine. I'm with Elon on this one, bro. Let's go, Vivek.
And there's more laws every year until basically everything's legal, so we can't get anything done. So we need some kind of garbage collection for regulations that don't make sense. I think I'm saying very obvious things.
You are saying obvious things.
Yeah. So
which will be very unpopular things.
Yeah. I'll probably need, if this happens, quite a significant security team. So that, because someone might literally go postal on me from the post office.
And then the final thing in regards to this Department of Government Efficiency, Elon posted this: all actions of the Department of Government Efficiency will be posted online for maximum transparency. Anytime the public thinks we are cutting something important or not cutting something wasteful, just let us know. We will also have, and get this, see, he's smart. He plays video games. He understands psychology. We will also have a leaderboard for most insanely done spending of your tax dollars. This will be both extremely tragic and extremely entertaining. And he did create an account.
The Doge account at Doge on X.
At Doge. It's an official government account. It's got the gray check mark. This is the one. So if you're interested in that department and what he plans to do, and him and Vivek, and anything they talk about, the leaderboard, if you want to follow the leaderboard, this is the account you want to follow on X. I think it's great, and I think the extreme transparency on it is going to be, it's going to be enlightening. It really is. I think people are going to be very, very surprised at some of the stupid shit that we spend money on. And it's a lot. It's a lot of stupid shit.
I'm pretty sure this was just created yesterday. Earlier today, it had 40,000 followers, and now it's got 696.7 thousand followers already. That is extremely quickly, and it is verified with the gray check mark for people that are wondering. The gray check mark indicates that it is a verified government entity on X. So it is It is confirmed. It was created yesterday, and now has 696,000 followers. The magic number for the Doge as of right this moment.
Well, I mean, he did tweet it out. He did a couple of quote tweets and stuff like that. So
still
no, it's
hilarious,
great. It's great. I love the fact that it's going to be transparent. I love the fact that we're going to be active and involved in the process. I'm excited. Speaking to Elon, I'm excited to see us actually going to Mars. Like that's going to happen real soon now, and that's exciting. That's very exciting stuff. So yeah, I mean, this is the administration so far. There's a lot of good names in here. There's a lot of people, that are going to be hopefully doing the things that we need done,
Let's see.
and getting us to the promised land, basically.
Briefly here, we have the first female White House chief of staff in the history of the United States, thanks to Donald Trump, the person that they claim did not like strong, smart women, person that they claim was a racist, has brought on many people of different backgrounds, including the first female White House chief of staff ever, Susie Wiles. And she has been, in my opinion, very important in choosing this administration here. So she was an excellent pick to bring on. Then we've also got the EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, Ambassador to the UN Elise Stefanik, the White House Counsel Bill McGinley, the Deputy Chief of Staff, as you mentioned earlier, Stephen Miller, Tom Homan, the Border Czar, Ambassador to Israel is going to be Mike Huckabee, and the government efficiency advisors through the DOGE department are Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, and the envoy to the Middle East, Steve Witkoff. All in all, pretty good choices, especially when you get to the top of the list. John Ratcliffe for CIA Director, Mike Waltz for the NSA, Tulsi Gabbard for the Director of National Intelligence, Kristi Noem for Homeland Security, Pete Hegseth for Defense Security Secretary, Matt Gaetz, the absolute based unit for Attorney General, and one we haven't talked about yet, Marco Rubio for Secretary of State. How do you feel about the people that are upset about Marco Rubio being chosen as Secretary of State, Aaron? What are your thoughts, if you have any on this?
I mean, I understand he has in the past been a neocon, all about the wars, the perpetual wars, and I mean, this is one of the things that we're fighting. But again, I am going to reserve judgment. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait and see. What does he do in his position now? See, this is the interesting part. He's the Secretary of State now. That job is going to talk to all the other countries. That's his job. So I'm going to be very curious to see. I'd like to see the Middle East wind down. I'd like to see the Ukraine, fighting wind down. I'd like to see, the wars stop, the people stop dying. That's what Trump wants. We're going to see if Marco Rubio actually follows through on that. I personally feel like he's going to. I think that he is going to follow Trump's lead, because something else that just came out, and I would have to look for a post for it, but believe it's out there. It's already been said. Elon has already said it, that any of these people, and including the House, like the House, especially the House and the Senate, if they do not work towards furthering Trump's agenda, Elon said he will fund their opponent in the primaries to primary them out. Now, Elon has the more money than anyone on the planet. He is the richest man in the world. He's like the anti-Soros, except he could buy Soros over multiple times. So I think a lot of people right now in the House and in the Senate are seriously thinking about, okay, I think we have to actually go with what Trump wants here. I think we actually have to. I think we're going to find a lot more capitulation than people think. A lot of people are panicking. The Senate's going to try to screw him over. The House is going to try to screw him over. Let's wait and see, because I think we're going to see a whole lot more capitulation than people think, because I think that all of these things have already been accounted for. Just like Thune, who got the Senate majority vote, and everybody wanted Rick Scott, and Thune has kind of been against Trump before. But he did just come out with a statement that he wants to push forward Trump's agenda. We'll see. We'll see. Is he actually going to do that? You know, here's the thing. According to the Constitution, and you feel free to look this up, if the majority leader doesn't want to do things and get shit done, J.D. Vance is the president of the Senate, which means he's the leader of the Senate.
Bingo.
And I'm pretty sure that J.D. Vance could take shit over and start making shit happen. I don't think it's going to come to that. I think they're going to capitulate because they're going to realize that they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice, and that is the position that Trump put them in. There's a mandate from the people. The popular vote, Trump winning the popular vote, is way bigger than a lot of people realize. Republicans don't typically win the popular vote in a close contest. They'll win the Electoral College. That's why the Democrats always bitch about the Electoral College. Oh, well, we won the popular vote, but you won the Electoral College. Yeah, it's because New York and California got fucking 192 million fucking people in them. But Trump won the popular vote and the Electoral College, both decisively. And that is a mandate from the people. And switching the Senate and keeping the House and all of those things, tell them that we're not fucking around with this. And Elon coming out saying he will fund primaries against people who want to fuck around and find out. I think that a lot of people who are like, well, you know, I can kind of undermine him a little. You know what? Maybe I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to toe the line here. I'm just going to vote with the rest of the Republicans and make this fucking shit happen. Good. That's what we need. But it's a crazy fucking world. We're going to find out. But I'm not mad about any of these picks. Some I'm a little, I don't know. But we'll find out. We'll find out. And I think that if there are any that are fucky, I think there's contingency plans in place. I think we're going to be just fine.
I do agree
Boss,
with you.
what's your thought on the picks?
Do agree with you. If Senate doesn't want to play ball, well, Donald Trump can pretty much send them home on a recess, right? And Mike Johnson and Trump can appoint whoever the hell they want. That's in the Constitution. We just discussed this before this video as well, Aaron. And if they don't play ball, then they can appoint J.D. Vance as the VP, the head of the Senate. They can make him the majority leader. And next thing you know, doesn't matter that Thune is in there. He will have been ousted as being a rhino, and he'll be primaried in 2026. So, like you said, Elon's willing to throw a shitload of money against anybody that goes against the Trump administration. It's not looking good for the Never Trump Rhinos. That stands for Republican in name only, for those of you that may not be aware. So let's watch this last quick video here before we wrap it up. Rep Massey was just asked about Matt Gaetz being confirmed as the Attorney General by the Senate. He said he doesn't need to. Recess appointments. He's the Attorney General. Suck it up.
I like Thomas Massey too, by the way.
Oh, he's fucking amazing. Damn, I can't hear that. I could not hear that.
It's super low. But he basically, they ask him, about Gaetz being confirmed as the Attorney General by the Senate, and he says he doesn't need to. Recess appointments. He's the Attorney General. Suck it up. I think there's all kinds of ways to skin the cat here. I think that a lot of people are worried and they're concerned, and understandably, because the first time through, Trump had a lot of people who were looking to undermine him. And even after he was out, a lot of people looking to undermine him, and I'm sure there's going to be people who are looking to undermine him. But he's got a lot of experience, and I think he's going to be just fine. He's prepared for all the bullshit that can come his way, and I think he's just going to fucking squash it and get the shit done that needs to get done.
I'm with you.
That's it.
I think that appointment of Susie Wiles as the first female White House Chief of Staff was absolutely genius on Trump's part, because he got somebody that he can trust right there that has a deep knowledge of what all these people can do, and told them, okay, this person's bad news, this person's good, this is who you want on your team. And that's really made a huge difference compared to 2016, when they were still just trying to figure everything out. And, they were constantly getting, the Trump admin was constantly getting stabbed in the back. I don't think that's going to be a problem anymore, brother. So I'm very much looking forward to the next, the next administration taking over, so that Biden and Harris can no longer send billions and billions of taxpayer dollars to fucking Ukraine for them to save their border. But of course, when it comes time for our country to protect our border, we don't have the money for it, right?
Oh yeah, of course. And we don't have the money for people, the hurricane victims and shit like that. Yeah, it's all horseshit. I'm glad we're going to turn the page on that. Nabuto in the Rumble chat says, I haven't heard anything about Kash Patel. I wonder what position he will get. The FBI hasn't been assigned yet,
Exactly.
and I hope he gets the FBI position, because Kash has been like, let's declassify Diddy, let's declassify Epstein, let's put it all fucking out there. Now, two ways that can go down. Everything gets declassed, and it's fucking bedlam, or people start fucking around and they're gonna find out, like, who's on that list. It's gonna get crazy. We're in for a wild fucking ride, and I'm excited. I'm actually excited about this wild ride. I was not excited about this last 4 years, but I think, honestly, I think it needed to be this way. It needed to be as shitty as it was, so people could really wake up to everything, to have the media, how they operate, all that kind of stuff. And that could be a whole nother conversation. The things that wake everybody up to the bullshit. But no, I think it's going to be really exciting. I'm excited about his picks. I hope they all do what they're supposed to do, and there's still a whole bunch more picks to come out. So let's keep our eyes on that, and let's pay attention to these guys and make sure they do what they do.
Cheers, my friends. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. We are going to be on every Wednesday on this channel. Go ahead and follow us on YouTube and Rumble. We will not be on X every week. So cheers, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great rest of your evening. See you next Wednesday.